What's up, folks? How you doing? Welcome to the Tuesday edition of my weekly live stream. It's great to have you here. Chicken Dip, what's up? Good to see you again, as always. And if you're new here to the live stream, welcome. If this is your first time, let me know if this is your first time here. So this is a weekly occurrence that I do. Obviously on Tuesdays, but also later on in the week as well. And I always try to catch people in different time zones across the world. So that's why I do it twice a week. But this is a space where we get to just nerd out as bass players about anything to do with bass playing. And whether you are a beginner or even an advanced player, this is a place where we get to hang out, and any questions, anything, any thoughts about bass playing that you have, whether it's about concepts, techniques, gear. Gear is always a big one that we talk about. That's always a big one, and I love talking about gear. But any questions, playing gigs, playing in bands, anything like that, pop it down in the chat. Please do, and I'll try my best. But even like some real nerdy, like, music theory stuff as well, to do with how we apply that on the bass and how you can do it as well. Just pop it down in the chat. Anything you want to know, that's why I do this. But I'm glad that you could be here. I'm just jamming to some chord progression that I kind of just made up here. And yes, I'm still having a lot of fun on the Ibanez mode bass, the MDM 1605. It's really fun to play. Very inspiring as well. So yeah. Chicken Div is saying, I know you played it recently, but can we hear the Ridge Racer on the mode? You got it, man. I'll totally do that soon. But absolutely, I'd like to hear it on the mode as well. That'd be pretty cool. Sayuru Nimsara, welcome. This is your first time? Nice. Play something cool. I'm trying to play something cool, right? Asking, what's the chord you hit when you use your thumb in the video on IG with the producer singing? With the producer singing. Is this a recent video I did with the producer singing? I'm trying to think. What is that? The producer. What video did I do with a producer singing? That's a good question. Give me some more hints, Chicken Dip. John Brussel, how you doing? More gear questions, of course. More gear questions. I love gear questions. I'm curious, have you considered the MDM? Are you talking about like MDM particle board? No, just kidding. The mode base with the maple neck and ash body. If so, why did you choose this one? Yeah, well, no, that's a great question. I was definitely, I'm definitely more partial to, like a more kind of warmer, type of sound, and I love rosewood, and also, I mean, this just looks beautiful. This poplar burl top, and this is this older body, right? Pretty sure. But no, the maple and the ash is a classic combination. But I do have it's actually getting some work on it. My other 6-string bass, my custom BTB 6-string, that one is kind of got an ash maple vibe going on to it. That's a bird's eye maple fingerboard, and it's a hybrid of ash and alder. So it's ash tops and an alder body, and that satisfies that kind of vibe for me, in terms of having something that is a little more snappier, brighter. For sure, it is a brighter bass, as opposed to the groove line, the 6-string over here, which is obviously that's rosewood fingerboard, and that's ash and alder, and it has a much warmer sound, real punchy, warm, fat kind of tone to it, and this one definitely has quite a nice warm sound, especially when playing up high. That's I don't like to have a lot of treble going on. Even when I open the tone control, quite substantially. It's a really warm sound, especially it sings beautifully. So that's another thing. I mean, I definitely love ash and maple for its characteristics. And I think, and also just at the time, here in New Zealand, this is what is available in terms of this model of instrument. And it's beautiful. But one day I would love to check out the ash maple combination. I hear it is a little heavier, but it has that vintage kind of sound to it. But yeah, I hope that gives you some insight. But nice to see you. I don't think I've seen you on here, John. But thanks for hanging out. And of course, any more gear questions you got, pop it down in the chat. And yes, Sayuru, it does kind of channel a fretless sound. It's also the way that I'm articulating it too. I'm kind of articulating it. It articulates. I articulate it in that kind of way. Definitely some kind of legato kind of stuff. So it kind of gives a fretless C kind of thing. This would also, I hope they eventually come out with a fretless version of these. That'd be beautiful. That'd be really nice. So yeah. Chicken dip. Oh, you're talking the producer? Yeah, my wife, who is my producer here. Sometimes she pops in the chat and also pops in to tell me something. Yeah, so I guess you checked out there's our video of us performing. This on YouTube. Yeah, that's from around 2017. Although we might have, when we performed that might have been like 2016, but that was at the Blue Whale. So you're asking what's the chord you hit when you use your thumb in the video? So obviously it was on my 6th string, but in terms of you know what? I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. So what Chicken Div is talking about. So sometimes when I play this drop 2 and 4 voicing, and I can explain a little later on what drop 2 and 4 means, but it's this type of voicing here. Essentially, this shape right here is a go-to major 7 shape that I like to play. And I'm playing, the root, the 5th, the 3rd, the major 3rd, and I've got the major 7 up on top, right? But sometimes, to add a little bit of embellishment, I like to use my thumb. I bring it from here to add a little bit of color like that. So right there, what I'm doing is I'm doing a pull off with my pinky finger, and my thumb is playing. In this case, it's playing a sharp 11. So this is a good way for me to turn this into a Lydian chord. And for those of you who saw my last post on IG, which a lot of you seem to really like, I obviously love the Lydian mode and I love Lydian chords. So that's the thing, is that, and this is something that I, obviously I play upright bass, and when you play up in the higher register, you got to play in thumb position using your thumb. So this is just borrowing that kind of concept from that. But I definitely use that when playing a major 7 chord. And it was just a way to be able to just add a little more color to the sound. I didn't want to just be stuck with. I wanted to be able to have and then I can slide fifth. So that's the what that is. I'm glad I was able to figure out, because I'm just like, producer thumb, what? I put it together. So I hope that helps. And you cats should totally try it out. And just to quickly go over, okay, I mentioned, well, what's drop 2 and 4? Okay, so essentially, what this is, say for example, I was to take a C major 7 and put it in its designated, true order of, going in, right? Root, third, fifth, 7, right? Obviously, the on a piano and on a guitar, that's easier to play, but on a bass that is tuned in fourths, a little more difficult to kind of get that shape. You're going to have this horrible, awkward diagonal going on. It's possible, but and it's like right. So what we can do, and then also, if you're playing on a 5-string bass, you might not have much room in order to play it in that order. Yeah, it's just hard. So what we can do is drop 2 and 4. Now, what does that mean? Drop 2 means we can. What we're going to do is we're going to drop the second highest note that is in this chord. So what's the second highest note going to be? Well, obviously that one is the highest, so the second highest note after that is going to be the 5th. So we can drop that down the octave. So then it gives us this. Which is really nice. That's a pretty nice chord. Very usable, especially on a 4-string if you want to make these nice chords just sound a little more thicker. You have that option to do that. Now, what about the drop 2? So we've done a drop 2, but now what about the 4? Well, remember the concept? Okay, we dropped the second highest note, so now we're going to drop the 4th highest note, which is literally the root. So we're going to put that down the octave. So if I drop 2 chord, we've got this, but now we're going to take the octave. The root, which is this C, and now we're going to put that down the octave. And now we have this nice kind of even spread, a nice full chord. And so that's called a drop 2 and 4 voicing. And you can also do that for playing a dominant 7. You can do this for playing a minor 7. You can do it for minor major 7 as well. Right? You can also do it for playing a major 7 with a augmented 5th as well. Right? If you wanted to do it with a might get a little muddy if you want to do like a half diminished, so a minor 7 flat 5. If you do it up higher in a higher register, especially on a 6-string bass, you could make it work. So that's how that is. Some of the guitar seems easier looking at that chord shape. Look, I've seen guitar players have to do a lot of stretching. I mean, obviously, the person that comes to mind who was the absolute master of that was Alan Holdsworth. I mean, he had giant hands, so he could get these incredible stretches and voicings. But yeah, on the bass, you definitely. I wouldn't say it's impossible at all. I mean, obviously, I can do it, and I know bass players who have smaller hands than mine, who are able to do it on the 6-string as well. They have some very flexible hands. So that's the thing, is that having the flexibility to do it. And sometimes, yeah, you got to bring your thumb out from behind. If you got to do that, you got to do that, right? As long as you don't hurt yourself. That's the most important part. Roberto Montero, how you doing? Thanks for dropping by. Chicken Dip is saying also the fretwork on the neck on the Mode is amazing out of the box. So did you get yours? Did yours arrive, Chicken Dip? Sounds like it did. Ivan is really knocked out of the park. Yeah. So did you? I'm assuming by that yours arrived. You know, that's so cool. Danny Bass, what's up? How you doing? And oh man, it's never too late to drop in on the stream. And yeah, these are the with drop 2 and 4. Just like concepts like that. That's something that at one point just totally went over my head when I was younger, trying to learn theory and all that. And then it wasn't only until like later on when I started getting more into chords and different voicings that I just happened to read something about I think it was in a book or something, and then talking about drop 2 and 4, and I was like, oh wait, hang on, that's what I like to do. Oh, that's what it is. So it just puts it together, because otherwise of just like drop 2 and 4, like what kind of mathematical, so anyway. Go back to my little loop. That's so cool, Chicken Dip. How is it? And you got the exact same one here, right? You got the 1605. And Sayuru, thanks so much for dropping by. And again, welcome. This is your first time. And yeah, absolutely. Please come back again anytime, whenever I do this. You turn on the notification so you'll know every time I go live. And so, of course, if you are, for those of you who are first timers here, and you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Obviously, you'll get notified when I go live, when I post stuff, and that way you'll be able to keep track of what's going on here. Also, down below in the description box are all my links to my bass resources, so make sure you just check those out as well. Courses, if you want to take lessons with me, all that good stuff is down below. So anyway, exactly. Congratulations to Chicken Dip, who also got a Ibanez Mode bass. Who else has tried the Mode basses here? I missed here. Mike Catapano. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And your first time here is per YouTube recommendation, and from New Jersey. Welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. And you're a drummer? Nice. drummers are some of my favorite musicians in the world. And for me, and they've also helped, for many obvious reasons. But they've helped shape the way I like to approach just playing, especially when it comes to application, pocket, and even just in terms of intensity as well. And I don't mean like dynamics. I'm talking about in terms of playing more stuff and playing less stuff. And that's thanks to, I would say, a few of my favorite session drummers, for sure. I mean, Bernard Purdy, James Gadsden, who I had the pleasure of recording with, Jeff Porcaro, Vinny Caliuta, Steve Gadd, Yogi Horton, J.R. Robinson. I mean, a lot of these Harvey Mason, a lot of these incredible industry cats who've like set a standard. I could totally go on more. But then I've also, the way that, drummers, ride cymbal patterns, hi-hat patterns have influenced the way I play too. Obviously, Tony Williams is a huge one for me. Elvin Jones, Jack DeJohnette. It's Art Blakey, Roy Haynes. Yeah, exactly. All your favorite drummers, right? I mean, that's a huge thing for me. A lot of those cats, and again, I can just keep going on and on. So yeah. And Chicken Dip is saying, yes, got the same one. I love it. The tone is amazing. Had a ton of fun with the EQ. Nice. So Chicken Dip, what's your favorite setting for the mid section? Obviously, this has a very sophisticated mid section. What do you like to use? I like to use, what have I got? So I'm on the upper mids, and I've got the switch in the middle, and I like to boost and cut from there. That's kind of my favorite go-to right now. I'm curious to hear how it sounds like on a louder rig, or just on my rig, like louder, but in a band context. That's what I'm curious, and I'll get to try that out next week, which I'm excited for. So yeah, but that's so cool. I'm so happy for you, Chicken Dip. Danny Bates is saying, and with the concepts and studying, it's really up to the instructor or the one explaining, not only in music but in many things in life. And made that concept very simple. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that, and that's how I like to be, because we've all been there where we've studied with incredible musicians, and look, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but we've all experienced studying with some of our favorite musicians, people who are just some of the greatest. But we've also had times where in their lessons or classes, it's like being like, what? Just because sometimes and I'll tell you this, and I know I've done this to some of my students in the past over the years, trying to explain things in a simple and understandable way is sometimes, it can be one of the hardest things, because we've spent so much time like getting really technical and trying to understand it in a very complex and sophisticated way, that sometimes it's hard to actually explain it in that other way, and that takes practice, and I've had to practice that. But for something like that, drop 2 and 4, I'm glad that you were able to understand that. And I'm sure there's probably some of you on here who are like, I still don't get it. that's totally cool. You can always rewind and see what I'm talking about, or even just do a quick Google search. But I had a hard time, when I was younger, trying to understand things, and I try to do my best with explaining things simply and so that you can understand it. And from the perspective of the bass as well, for something that we do. And usually I like to relate it to something that you already know. And just be like, well, just so you know, that's what that is right there. The thing that you're playing, it's called such and such. As simple as that. Yes, exactly, Mike. Tony absolutely was just something else, right? An incredible, like how just that ride cymbal pattern is so usable in so many aspects. Obviously, playing straight ahead acoustic jazz, but then fusion, and even in like some rock and all that. Like it's incredible. Tony, he was one of the greatest. So Chicken Dev, who said, I really like recommended setting to cut the 1K, but I'll halfway back to bridge and pick up and bump 250K up a bit. Nice. Bump the bass and slight cut highs. Nice. Tone closed. Yeah, and then, with the tone control, then you have the freedom to just, if you need to add more or really warm it up, you can do that. And then just also remember, the EQ on your amp, you set that to whatever room that you're playing in. That's always the thing to do. And then you can use the EQ on your bass for musical reasons. That's what I like to do in conjunction with the different pickup settings. I'll play a tune shortly. I'll play the one that Chicken Dip was asking for. I know I've played it before, but it would actually be cool to hear it on this bass. The tune from Ridge Racer. 916 Kev, how you doing? And thank you, I appreciate it. Great to have you here. So let me cue up this tune. From one of my favorite video games, from a PS1 game. Who here grew up with PS1? PS1, baby. All right, let's see. And so this game called Ridge Racer Type 4, which is just a really cool racing game from the 90s, car racing. Japanese, just really awesome. Where is it? It's here. Here it is. You had the PS2, not the one. Nice. Well, I also did play PS2. I didn't own. Well, I bought a PS2. I think maybe in my 20s. I got it for like $20 at like a secondhand store. It came with a memory card. It came with 2 controllers, all the cables. It was a great score, man. I was like, yes. And then I immediately bought a few PS1 games. Road Rash Jailbreak, Ridge Racer Type 4, as I mentioned. Speed Freak, so I think in America you guys call it Speed Racer, I think. Hey, Nintendo is cool. I dug Nintendo. I didn't have one, but I definitely played it at my friend's house, that's for sure. So, yes, Gran Turismo I absolutely loved. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater #1. And, of course, that's how I discovered Primus. That's how I discovered Les Claypool. Woo! That's so good. Yeah, Road Rash, man. Road Rash is still, to me, is one of the funniest games. It's so amazing. It's hilarious. And the music is really great, too. All right. Let's do some playing, otherwise I'm just going to talk about, nostalgia stuff with PS1. Anyway, I'm going to play the tune from Ridge Racer. So here we go. Let me just... Okay. Let's get into it. Make sure the tunes is queued up. Alright, here we go. Oh man, that's kind of, you gotta be warmed up to kind of play that one. You really do. But it's man, that's such a fun tune. That one is called, what's it called? It's called Naked Glow. That's on Ridge Racer Type 4. Oh, now I've got a bad cable. There we go. Facts. Danny Bays, I wonder, can the Ibanez mode bass sound brighter without being harsh? Yeah, kind of towards like a 70s style active jazz bass, bit of mid scooped and sharp highs. Yeah, let's try it out. Yeah, let's. And that's the cool thing about this. Obviously, you would totally get that vibe with the ash and maple combination, but this definitely can achieve that. So let's do that. So do both pickups. Now we'll say that these pickups are in the 60s jazz bass positions, right? The bridge pickup is where it would be on a 60s jazz bass. If it was 70s, it would be a little closer to the bridge, and that drastically, even just moving it just a touch, that drastically changes the sound. That's how you get that Marcus Miller kind of sound and all that. But let's go for that kind of thing, right? So let's scoop the mids. Let's add in some highs. I'm gonna add in a little more bass. So for me, I'm gonna flick the switch down so that it gets more of the higher, and just cut it a little more, boost the bass. That's with the mids cut all the way. I can change the put it back to change the different settings. But I kind of want to have still a little more upper mid, the lower mids in there, just to that's a lot of treble. I've got the treble maxed out all the way. And the tone control, it's not something that I would typically do, right? Let's get a track where I might use that kind of tone. Maybe not necessarily a whole lot of slapping or and thumping, but definitely something where I might have to use that kind of tone. Actually, I have a tune that I could play. This is actually a Brecker Brothers tune, but it's a different version that I played with incredible drummer, one of my favorite drummers, named Terrion Gully. I played in this band called Tanktified, and we did this. This is his version. Where is it? Oh, here it is. His version of this Brecker Brothers tune, or at least Michael Brecker tune called Spherical. And I do need to read the chart, but this would be something where it would use that kind of tone in that. So let's see. Let's bring up the chart. Put it onto 2-page mode, so I've got it just all on my screen. And yeah, that last tune I was giving Kuru Speak Like a Child vibe. Oh yeah, totally, right? Speak Like a Child is one of my favorite tunes. Beautiful, Herbie tune. But that jock over there with the strings and all that, oof, just absolutely just beautiful. Daniel Prinz, how you doing? Thank you so much. Completely off topic. It's never off topic here. I always go off topic here on the live stream. Let's say you're playing with Village with Dave Weckl and Steve Weingart. Weingart was my first impression. Oh, thank you so much. That was definitely a very special experience for me, playing with those cats. And I definitely, again, I have to thank, of course, Steve, who's one of my best friends, Steve, for getting me on that gig, and also John Patitucci. John was another cat who recommended me to Dave Weckl, because Dave had asked him, like, who are some young cats that I should play with, and he apparently he said you gotta hit up Benjamin Shepard. So thank you to those cats for getting me onto that playing experience. Incredible. And Danny is saying, I think it's the first time someone makes the Ibanez bass sound like that. Usually it's very mid-focused, but yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, with this instrument, I mean, look, I think that's why they have such a flexible mid section on here. I could even... It really, that's with everything cut. I wouldn't necessarily use that sound. That's a little closer, but I kind of want to reduce more of the high mids on what I'm... So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to play this tune. Haven't played it in a while, so let's see if I still remember it. And that's cool that you go for a brighter sound. Yeah, this can totally do that, and let's use a brighter sound for this. So let's bring this up. Trying to remember how that went. But there's actually there's a video of us playing this at Tiny Room, it's called. And that's from, I mean, we probably did that in 2018. But that's Terry on Gully on drums, Jeffrey Keezer on keyboards, Bob Reynolds on saxophone, and Curtis Taylor on trumpet, and myself on bass. There's some really cool videos that we did from that session that's up on here on YouTube, so definitely check that out. If you just type in Terry on Gully and my name, Benjamin Shepherd, those should come up. That in terms of like having a brighter sound, scooped mids, there's still a nice amount of punch in there. It still felt really comfortable. Sometimes, when I scoop mids on some instruments, there's this whole thing that is just being carved out. It's just hard to sometimes dial in and still have a good amount of punch. But this instrument definitely has a lot of substance when doing so, which I absolutely love. So Danny's saying, I'm assuming I can reach what I'm looking for, fresh strings. Oh, absolutely. Labella super steps, yeah. Can't expect, exactly. F bass is a whole other thing, right? Incredible instruments. But yeah, if you put some strings on here, that will definitely. And what I've got on here, these are DR fat beams, so they also have like a good amount of kind of like mid, content in there, and I've played them in. They're probably like 2 weeks old now. I mean, as soon as I got the bass, I took off the factory strings and I put these on, and so they've definitely kind of worn in. And when they definitely give you I like these strings. They give you in a way, a vintage kind of mid-range to them when they settle in. That's what I really like. They have some nice punch. If you're going for that more, hi-fi, Marcus Miller kind of thing, maybe you might want to look at something. Well, and this is the thing. I obviously I use DR strings, but definitely go for something. Whatever strings that you use, that is going to be have that nice high end in there, a nice sweet high end. The high beams would be the one that, and I'd love to try this with the DR high beams, which I will at some point. I use the high beams on my 6-string basses, and they sound absolutely. We back? I saw it kind of drop out for a second there, which is interesting. But we're back and strong. So good. Sometimes now and that might happen. YouTube has kind of been doing that a little lately. But I'll just also have to at some point double check my settings on my end as well. It's you mentioned Snarky Puppy, Mike, because obviously, Bob Reynolds, who played saxophone on that track, obviously he plays in Snarky Puppy, so there you go. And this the bass, this bass sounded really great in there. I'm gonna use this bass tone again for another track. Let's see. Daniel is saying, I have just come to realize that you played on the session. I'll see I'll see myself. That was, we did that. So we did that tune. We did another one of Terion's tunes called Tanktified. And then we also did a Kenny Garrett tune where we just, and I played upright, and we just, played a nice kind of up-tempo swing tune. Just went in, just burned. The Cats just went in on it. It was pretty cool. It's great to play with those Cats. And thank you, Aliza, 1975. I probably said your name incorrectly. I apologize. Thank you so much for the kind words. And yeah, thank you, Danny. And thank you to everyone else here. I'm gonna play another tune with this tone. And if you're just been joining on, welcome. We're just nerding out about bass and particularly this bass and strings and all that, and drop 2 and 4 chord voicings, things like that. So if you have any questions, anything to do with bass playing, concepts, gear, techniques, any advice I could give you about playing gigs or recording sessions, anything like that, pop it down in the chat. I'll do my best. Let's see what I can play. What else I can play here? So that tune that I played was called Spherical. It's originally a Michael Brecker tune. And doing it with this kind of brighter tone. Let's see what else I could do here. How about let's stay in the kind of. Let's see here. Killer Fridge, what's up? Nice to see you. Oh, maybe not that one. And you want to try the Diodario XS bass strings. Nice. I'm not too familiar with the Diodario XS bass strings. If that's something that you want to get into, totally go for it. Let us know how it works out. Let's see. And the DR high beams sounded fresh but lost the sound quickly. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think they definitely. I can understand that they do have quite a quick break-in period, and I think where they break in, that's the sound I like. I love the broken-in sound of those strings. So. Oh, maybe I'll play a Steve Weingart tune. This is where we were talking about Steve Weingart. I'll play one of his tunes. Let's get the chart here. Do I have it? Yes, I do. Hey, there it is. But I'm going to have to put it into... Yeah, put this one into 2-page mode. Okay, yeah, that should be good. Let's see if I can remember this. But yeah, no, DR high beams, they're my favorite. But yeah, they definitely sound great, fresh. But for me, I guess obviously, I'm not into so much of the bright. I'm more of a warmer kind of cat, So I like that, especially on the 6-string bass. They have a nice punch. So, but I can understand. So you've been checking out the Sadowski Blue Label. I haven't played any Sadowski strings before. Obviously Sadowski, Roger Sadowski, that's a legend right there. Makes incredible instruments. And that's the thing, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's individual to each player. This is the thing I love. There is a string for everyone. And that's how it should be. It might be overwhelming, but there is something for everyone out there to help you achieve and to also help you find the sound that you're looking for. That's the really cool thing. There's a bass, an instrument for everyone as well, which is what I love. And yes, I have my preferences. I have the things that I'm into, but I'm also curious about what other people use. I'm always curious. I'm never going to be a snob about it and be like, oh no, they only play a P bass. Cool, you play a P bass? That's so cool. Tell me about what you love about your P bass. I'm interested to know why you're so passionate about it. And that's not in a yeah, well, what's so great about it? No, I'd love to know what inspires you with that, so that I can understand things like that even further. Anyway, I'm gonna play this tune. Oh, I gotta change this patch cable. Oh, some cable. Yeah, this sounds nice. It is a nice tone. I mean, this is a tone that I would totally use for if I need to use it, you know. I mean, and that's that's the mids cut on the bass, so it still has a nice kind of nice sound. So this bass would be incredible for recording, studio recording. This would actually sit really nice in the mix. If you're hearing it the way that you're hearing it, and just understand that you're hearing it straight, like just direct. I have minimal compression from my pedal board. Like I barely even have it on. I only just have it to kind of tame some of the peaks that the envelope filters will cause when they're engaged. But I have minimal compression, and then I go through my other pedals, through the amp, and straight into my audio interface, which is a Focusrite. That's what you're hearing. There's nothing on the computer end that is doing any processing in terms of like effects or other post-production things. No, because I don't know how to do that. All right, let me see if I know how to play this tune. I just got to look at it first. I have to sight read the chart here, and this is, being a Steve Weingart tune, it's got some twists and turns. And then I'm probably gonna fudge that, but we'll see. So it would be something like that. And thankfully they're all like in fourths, but it's just the rhythm of it. Okay, let's see what happens. caught me off guard. Classic Steve. That one's called Night Visitor. And so on drums, that's Tom Breckline, and the original bassist on that is Jimmy Earl. And of course, guitar, that's Frank Gambale. Of course, right? Ooh, Frank Gambale, man. Absolutely super bad dude. Incredible. And yeah, you're right. Killer Fridge, high beams, but they're, yeah, they are a little pricey. I mean, but you get what you pay for, right? But hey, but that's cool. You got your, you got your thing set with Diodario. I'm happy for you. You know. Daniel say, actually, I do have a question about your approach to learning tunes for gigs. Are you a memorization or charting things down person? And even tunes you're playing through on the stream. Yeah, so, no, that's a great question, Daniel. So, I do all of that. Obviously, so what I was doing, I was sight reading then, all right? And usually I sight read on my iPad, but I didn't charge it up. So changing pages using the arrow keys on it is also, you have to, there's a choreography that was not rehearsed. But for learning tunes on gigs, so I'll give you a few examples, all right? So say, for example, let's put it in the context of Dave Weckl and Steve Weingart. So when I was learning, when I got asked to play with them, Dave sent out the tunes with charts. I think like maybe at least a month, maybe a little more. He might have sent it out 2 months before, maybe. Different tunes that we played, that we to play, and so my whole thing is whenever someone sends me tunes, I get in it right away. Mainly because I want to come in prepared, but also I'm excited. I'm excited to play the tunes, right? So that's why I'm totally down to just get into the music right away, because that's also a good way for me to like also see what did I get myself into. you know. Oh, Killer Fridge, your name is also Daniel as well. Nice, that's so cool. Hey, Michael Anthony, nice to see you, as always. Um, but yeah, for something like that, I would share the tunes charts, and I would make any notes on the charts itself. And sometimes, depending on the complexity of the tune, um, there might be a few tunes that I memorize because I've done enough repetition of it. But if there's some things that has some more involved sections or whatever, I'll be looking at a chart. However, as time goes by, and if I've played it enough, especially in the case of touring, playing the same material, you're playing it maybe almost every night, different shows, I'll start to be able to memorize things. And that's what happened when in the band I was playing in with Peter Erskine called the Dr. Band, when I was reading charts at first for certain tunes, but then after we played it so much, I didn't need to bring out my iPad. And how I got to that level was, I remember the show, exactly, the show that we played, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to set up my iPad for this. I'm going to keep the iPad in my gig bag, which is going to be in the green room. And so I'm just going to, I think I feel good about it. And I played it and I was totally fine. And so at that moment I was like, okay, yeah, I know this music, because I've played it enough. Now, in terms of having to play a gig where you're sent the tunes, but there's no charts, then again, depending on the complexity of the tunes, and for a lot of those types of gigs, a lot of them were where we were playing like R&B cover tunes or pop tunes, right? Uh, Depending on what it is, I could write out a little cheat sheet for myself. It's not cheating, we just call it that. But you write out some notes for yourself. I would do that. Or if they were real basic tunes, like really easy to kind of remember, sometimes maybe even just like a few chord, like a 4 chord vamp or something, or just the one bass line, then I could just play that, from memory. I would do that. In terms of how much I would spend shedding the tunes, I would as much as I could. And that's something that to be for playing at a professional level and the being hired as a top call musician. One of the biggest things is that you have to create this level of trust amongst the musicians, and especially people who are hiring musicians. They're hiring you, especially at a high level, they're hiring you to be a solution, not a problem. All right? So that means, yes, coming in prepared, uh, having done your homework. And there's more to it as well. Yes, showing up on time, showing up with a great attitude, um, things like that. But in terms of like the music making, yeah, showing up, having done your homework, knowing the tunes. I'm sure some of you have seen some of those meme videos or memes where people saying, um, when you're driving to the gig and you start listening to the tunes, and the tune that the dude plays is this crazy like kind of fusiony like hits everywhere kind of tune, and his eyes get all big and all that. I mean, yeah, that's funny and all that, but I'll tell you that I've come across those musicians in the past where, like, say for example, I've spent the time learning that tune, but then it takes one person to just absolutely not do the homework, and then it's ruined it. Like, and it's disrespectful too. Like, I spent the time, and so did other musicians, to make sure that we had that down and we're ready to play it, and you can't play it. You come in thinking that you can wing it. No, you see, and that's the thing that can get you fired. I've seen it. I've seen cats not be called back because of an instance like that. They thought they could wing it. So when you get sent music, learn it, shed it, make whatever notes you have to do. For me, I like to go above and beyond. And in terms of learning the tunes, I'll make the notes, and then I'll go check out maybe some recent live versions that an artist or the band has played of these tunes, just to make sure that I'm up to date. Because they might be thinking, all right, I'll just explain how we're going to do certain things at the rehearsal. But in reality, the rehearsal shouldn't be about learning the tunes. The rehearsal should be about, okay, everyone has done their homework together. We get together and we play through the tunes, and then we can iron out any little creases or kinks or anything like that. We can focus on actually playing the music instead of having to watch someone try and learn the stuff. Now, obviously, it's a different situation if someone springs out, hey, I figured, I just brought in this new tune. I figured we could just try and read it down. All right, that's a different type of situation. But if you've been sent music well in advance, you're expected to come in knowing it, right? So going back to what Daniel was saying, it's everything. I'm going to be memorizing things. I'm going to be charting things down that I need to chart down, because I want to ensure that I'm going to do a great job. I want to make sure that I'm going to keep up my reputation of being a top call musician and get called back and to be recommended to other people. And that's the reputation I created in the Los Angeles music scene. Um, because obviously, yeah, I'm relying on these gigs to pay my bills. That's another thing too. So, and also I want to play at a high level. I want to be able to play with the cats who are doing that. I want to be around that. So that's the whole thing. Um, you know, and like I said, that last tune, which had some involvement in it, obviously when we played that on I played that on one of Steve's gigs years ago. We played at the Baked Potato. So when he sent me tunes, yeah, I shared all that music. Obviously, I haven't played that tune probably since that gig, and so just sight reading through that, obviously there was some hiccups there, but I made it through. And me knowing Steve, who's one of my best friends, he still would have been like, "Yeah, man, we just do our best with that, but we can still play the music at a high level, right?" Um, Wackabase, what's up? Nice to see you. He's Wackabase says, I make charts when I go to a rehearsal with a new band, and sometimes I'm teaching them their own music. Oh my god, that's the worst. Oh man, yeah, I totally have been there. It's and that's frustrating. I love just showing up to a rehearsal and we can just play through the stuff and be like, yeah, all right, cool. And it's to a point where like we can even end rehearsal early too. I love that where everyone is on the same page. We're feeling good. Yeah, guys want to run that again, or and it's either like I'm down for whatever. We can play it, or we can just save it for the gig, save the magic for the gig. Sometimes we do that. I remember playing this gig with it's a really good band actually. It was for Jackie Robinson's, the legend, the baseball legend Jackie Robinson. It was his 100th birthday, his centennial celebration, and we did this at Royce Hall at that's at USC, isn't it? No, it's at UCLA, I think, right? Um, but anyway, the band, Jeff Lorber, a great keyboard player. Jeff Lorber was the MD, the musical director, and he called me to play. Dave Weckl was on drums. He had Lenny Castro on percussion. He had what's his name? Michael. Incredible. Oh man, I forgot his last name. Incredible guitar player. He's played a lot with Jeff, but also he's played a lot with Stanley Clark. And he's a super nice guy and just monster guitar player. I'm totally spacing on his last name. Michael on guitar, and there was a bunch of different guests sitting in with the band. So there's like Arturo Sandoval. He played a few tunes. Everett Harp was also in the house band. He was playing saxophone. Who else do we have? Bernie. Was it Bernie Williams? Also a baseball player. He's actually a really great jazz guitar player, and he played with us. And he did this really cool reharmonized version of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" that we did, like a nice waltz that we just did as a trio. It's so dope. I have the chart somewhere. I'll have to like play that. But there was also Ellis Hall, incredible, one of my great friends and mentors. Yolanda Adams, she also did a few tunes, and I remember with Yolanda. So we're doing the rehearsal, and Yolanda, she just came in and she sang her tune, and we were just all like, "Wow, okay." And then we're like, "All right, Yolanda, how you feel? You want to do that again?" She's like, "Nah, I'm all good." Just like that. It was when you're hanging and when you're playing with people who just feel really confident about what they're doing and know what they're doing. It's a whole other thing. And so if you're going to be on that kind of level, you really need to have that confidence and trust and trust in yourself that you can do it. And it's sometimes it takes a while to build up to that. And how do you build up to that? Well, you got to play with musicians who are on that level. You need to get your butt kicked. That's how because it forces you to keep up with them. It really does. So you know, how we doing here? I'm gonna play some more music because I love playing music. Obviously I just played Steve Weingart tune. I'm gonna play this tune actually. I'd love to play it. I'm gonna kind of just unbrighten the bass a little, add a little more mids back into the pot. Because this is a tune that I'm playing on a gig next week where we're playing the music of Lauryn Hill. And that's a gig where I've been making charts for myself, and which has been fun because it's enabled me to really dive into the music. So this is a tune, and I'm going to bring up my chart that I made. This is a tune from her album that she did, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Oh wait, is it in that? Trying to remember where I put it. Here it is. It's a really cool, little funk jam. Real groovy kind of thing. Called Every Ghetto, Every City. And the original bassist on this is a dude named Tom Barney. Tom is a phenomenal bassist. He actually, I don't know if you remember, there was that show, David Sanborn, Jules Holland show in the late 80s, early 90s called Night Music. And the house band, it was, Marcus Miller, Omar Hakim, Philippe Say, so sometimes Don Grolnick, Hiram Bullock, a bunch of cats. But after Marcus finished doing that, then Tom Barney became the bassist in that. And he also played a lot of Steely Dan as well. New York session bassist, incredible. But he plays bass on this original track right here, this Lauryn Hill track. So I'm going to play this, Every Ghetto, Every City, because it's a good way for me to practice it for next week's gig. So here we go. Nice. That's a fun tune. I mean, it's a deep tune, but it just grooves nicely. And again, Tom Barney on that track, he just sits in there so beautifully. Yeah, it's just. I haven't really played other than some hits of Lauryn Hill's, but in terms of like the deep cuts, I haven't played that before. So it's definitely interesting, just kind of diving in and just really trying to figure out my parts, especially on the albums. They have a lot of intricate kind of produced bits, but when we play it live, we're kind of just adding more of a live kind of vibe to it. So, that's how it is. It's so fun playing. How's everyone doing? You're good? Thanks so much, Daniel. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Nice to see you. Please come back anytime that I do this. Hope you're doing well. We got David. How you doing? Good morning from Germany. Nice. All the way from Germany. Nice, and good morning to all musicians and all bass players. Well, are we not musicians too? Usually the joke is about drummers and musicians, right? No, it's all good. It's just really great to be here. It always is. It's always great to have you all here too. And I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you're having a lot of fun too. Just in terms of playing all this. Something I did want to kind of talk, just because I've been getting a lot of. First of all, I appreciate from my the last video that I had posted on my IG about the playing Lydian using the Lydian mode to create bass fills, and that was from my last live stream that I did last week. But it seemed to have been pretty helpful for a lot of people and been getting some nice messages, as well as people who are just wanting to know more about the Lydian mode. So obviously Lydian mode is the fourth mode of the major scale. So if we're in the key of C major, and the fourth mode is going to be, from the fourth, but it's going to be all the same notes, right? It's going to be all that ding you heard. That's my producer or my wife. So did this happen to yours? She said an ad just popped up, which is interesting. Is that something new that they're doing for, for live streams as well? Interesting. Did it pop up at like the side? How did it, or did it like? How did it? I'm interested to know what did it look like? Sorry for all the dings. Did it? Is it something that's like down below, like, or does it like interrupt the live? How's it happen? I don't know. Weird. Is this a new thing that they're doing now? I don't know. But anyway, what I was saying. So the fourth mode, being the Lydian mode. So obviously it uses all the notes from C major, but the order is now just shifted to where, so instead of, now it's going to be, and with that Lydian mode, the Lydian being sharp 4, sharp 11, that's the cool. For me, that's one of my favorite sounds is Lydian. I just think it's so universal. It's like it's giving life. But essentially, you're playing starting on the fourth note of the major scale above C, which is that C major. So instead of going, we're going to go up in order. That's from the second, which is Dorian. That's Phrygian, which is from the third, and that's Lydian right there. My wife is saying she watches in from the other room and said it was a random shoe ad with the option to skip. So I don't know. I apologize if I'm explaining the Lydian mode and then suddenly an ad for shoes or whatever, or whatever your algorithm is showing you pops up. But another thing I do want to show you is something that you can also use for fully interrupted the whole screen. Okay. All right. Thank you, honey. I love you. Thank you for telling me. All the dings are here. Something that I think is also really great for creating bass fills is just triads and different triad shapes, right? So, and this is really important, to know the different triad shapes, the different triads. Obviously, if I'm playing a C major triad, 1, 3, 5, right? In that order, 1, 3, 5, and then obviously minor, 1, minor 3, 5, diminished, 1, minor 3, flat 5, and then augmented, 1, major 3, sharp 5, right? Those are the 4 triads, different triad qualities that is really important to know. But also you need to be able to do it in the different inversions. So how I'm playing it here, which is the very common one, that's root position, because the first note we're playing is on the root. And then for first inversion, is going to be starting on the second, the first inversion is going to be starting on the third. And with what we're doing is we're throwing that root note up the octave. So now the lowest note in first inversion, major triad, is going to be the third. And now the root is up the octave. And then second inversion is going to be, okay, now let's throw that third up the octave. And the lowest note is now going to be the fifth. Right? So, and then it gets you back, starts the cycle again. But also the other thing that is really important, obviously, that's one way of, for the fingering of a major triad. But it's also important to know how to play that another way, which is playing the root here, stretching to the major third, and then going to the fifth, right? That's also important to do it that way. We can also do it in this diagonal, where we play the root, third, and we have the fifth here. So we're using 3 strings instead of 2. So right, that's important to know how to play it. And obviously you can play it on the 1 string. You can do that as well. That's important to be able to know how to do that, and also in the different inversions as well. So going back to so we just played root position. Now first inversion, we can do it like that. We can also do it like this. And why is it important to know how to do it these different ways? Well, because it's going to give you different ways of being able to play different lines and different phrasing, right? So if I'm playing something, if I want to keep something kind of tight like that, but maybe if I want to play that same thing but have a little bit more grease in it, then I can play it I can do that. And it also allows me to do that kind of thing, as opposed to, which is another way. There's no right or wrong way. It's just giving you 2 different versions. But if I was going to play something with to play that, I would do it like that. Now for second inversion, there's 2 ways we can play it, where we have this nice, or we can go, where we're playing on 2 strings like that. I like doing this one. The reason is because it allows me to come up with something like this. Right? And that shape right there, using that's a second inversion major triad. It's based off of that, but obviously I'm going up to that fourth to kind of make it like a suspended fourth. that's a really nice one. That's a really nice shape to play. In terms of using it more in a fill for like a groove context, and this is the really cool thing, is that now if we use it in a diatonic kind of way, and here, I'll set up a loop. Let's do this one. And I'm going to show you how you can use the same thing but over different diatonic chords, right? So I'm just going to play. Let's see. Let's do this. Alright, got a little loop going on there. So, how do I know which triad I'm going to play? Well, I can tell you this, first of all. This is in the key of D major. Although my first chord that I'm playing here is an F sharp minor. And I'll get some chords going. So I've got a loop going on here. So I've got, even though we're in the D major, so F sharp minor, B minor, D major, then back to B minor, and then there was a quick C sharp minor there. So all diatonic in the key of D major. So that means that I could play. I should take out the bass line. Well, no, I'll show you melodically first, and then I can take out the bass line, even though I said I'm going to do bass fill. It's late where I am. So I could play a D major triad. But I can play it, essentially what I'm doing is I'm doing a second inversion D major triad, where I'm playing E, A, C sharp, and then going to the D. And sorry, this is not a D major triad, I'm playing A major triad. I'm going up to the D. I can play a D major there, but take it down, 2 octaves. And here's another one. I can play E major second inversion triad. Definitely gives you a more moodier type of sound. Alright, so what I'm going to do, now putting it in the context of a bass line, I'm just going to record my chords again so that I can take out the other track. Yeah, I kind of did it backwards. Nice, there we go. Familiar with a lot of these triads, it just helps you explore the inner chord tones and color tones in these chords. So if I was to play again, if I'm using an E major triad, if I'm using an A major triad, it gives me access to, so if I'm playing E major, D major. So I'm going to use these three triads: D major, E major, and A major. Alright, so A major, D major, E major. And essentially I'm playing a 1, 2, 3, 5 kind of cell. Added in a major 7. So what I'm doing is, by using these cells and these triads, I'm able to start getting an idea of how I can connect all these chords together with the notes that I have available to me. And then that also leads to some of the other notes, you the other notes that can be used in order to create, to go even more into the sound. I would also use an F sharp minor triad in there. And I'm playing 1, 3, 4, 5 cell when I play the minor. So it's an F sharp minor. So I can do like these two triad pairs where I'm using like E major and F sharp minor. You can also do that too. Where I'm blending them both. bring in D major as well. And that's all what triads give you. They give you that ability to be able to, and this is like without playing any fancy, like chromatic bebop kind of lines. If I wanted to mix that in with that kind of language, and that's something that you get from like transcribing, bebop soloists. See, I'm so used to like my 6th string. And then bringing in other elements like melodic minor and all that. That's a whole other thing that you can really start to explore once you are familiar with just using triads. And again, let's go back. Anyway, so that's like a nerdy kind of triad rabbit hole that you can go down, but it's super helpful in terms of just especially if you're just getting into like improvisation, that this is something that you're trying to do more of, but it can feel overwhelming. That's a really good place to start, is taking a diatonic chord sequence and looking at the different ways that some of the different triads that are involved in those chords. But anyway, folks, it's late where I am, so I think I'm going to call it a night. But thank you so much. I appreciate you all hanging out. It's been great to just play, have a lot of fun, kind of nerd out, talk about different things. But again, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Down below is in the description box are all my links to my bass resources. So make sure you check them out. Bass courses, if you want to study with me one-on-one, or join my bass coaching program, all the information is down below. So thank you again. This has been a lot of fun, and wherever you are in the world, just be safe out there. So there's a lot going on, and take care of each other, take care of yourself, all right? And just know that this is always a safe place where we can just connect as bass players and just do that. Just do bass. That's what we like to do. That's what I love to do here at Bass with Benjamin. So thank you again. You all take care, and I will see you later in the week for the live stream that happens later on. Thanks so much, Danny. Glad to see you here. I'll see you next time, all right? All right, folks. See you next time. Take care.